Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market, where today we're looking at this lovely specimen here. Now, technically, this video is a reshoot of a video that was supposed to go up today, so it's going to be late because the plant cooperated. Now, what is this plant in front of you? Some of you are looking at it and going, that's just a plain old white petunia. Oh, how wrong you are. For the first time in this channel's history, today we're going to talk about an actual genetically modified organism, and you're looking at it. The scientific name of this plant is Petunia atkinsiana firefly white, or Firefly Petunia, and it's called that because it has the ability to bioluminescence, to glow in the dark, to produce bioluminescence. Unfortunately, my camera does not allow me to show that because, well, it's daylight, but also it's just started to really pop out, and so I may see if I can try to do a still image to post. I know the video camera can't catch that, but anyway, it's a petunia, so it's in the nightshade family, but technically it's a genetically modified man-made plant that cannot exist in nature. Now, Petunia atkinsiana was originally a cross between Petunia axillaris and Petunia integrifolia. The word petunia itself is French. It comes from the word petun, meaning tobacco, because this is in the nightshade family and tobacco is its cousin. Now, as I said, this is a man-made GMO plant, and before I go any further, I need to talk about GMOs and what they are and what they technically aren't. First and foremost, I define them very specifically. And I start by saying that mankind has been genetically modifying organisms for ages. It's not new technology. Like I say with cloning, not new. We've been doing it for centuries. When you take a cutting of a mint plant, you are cloning it because you are making a genetically identical duplicate. Now, most people think that's lab, and there is done in a lab, and there is stuff done in a lab. But in this case, in plants, it's old hat. And in this case, genetically modified organisms fall into a bunch of categories. So technically, anything we modify and select for specific traits, such as bigger fruit, bigger leaves, better color, specific flower colors, and we select out from a naturally occurring plant to get that color, that is altered from its original state by artificial means because we're doing it, and we're encouraging either a chance mutation or something that happens because an environmental stressor brings it out. So, for instance, all the varieties of corn, they originated from a plant called teosinte, which was, if you've ever seen it, go look it up, it looks nothing like modern corn at all. Those are genetically modified organisms because we changed them. Now, this plant is a true GMO because GMO is or it isn't, to be or not to be. There is some cat yowling somewhere in the background. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, so this plant, just for the record, is treated as an annual and is acceptable, might become a short-lived perennial in zones 9 through 11, maybe. There's no guarantee it'll produce seeds that are breed true either. Its soil pH preference is 5.5 to 6.2. Its exposure preference is full sun, and I do mean that literally. It does way better once I moved it outside from the office. It needs all them wavelengths. Its height can be 8 inches to 10 inches, and its width can be 8 inches to 10 inches. And this specimen has effectively doubled in size since I moved it out into the sun, because I was about ready to just be like, look, you do what you want to do. Because I thought it was actually going to die on me. It's also known as, other names for this, the glowtunia, which I've heard people calling it. Now, as I mentioned, it emits a soft bioluminescence from the flowers, but mainly the new flower buds. And you are urged to deadhead this one. Unlike other petunias where it's semi-optional, for best results you deadhead, but it's not a hard requirement. This one, it's advised, so that way the new buds can keep forming and it can keep glowing. Now, its fertilizer preference, based on the fertilizer they sell on the site, is 18-8-22, and that's NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. 22 potassium is very interesting. I've never really seen that, and even tobacco fertilizer and fertilizer for nightshades like tomatoes is not structured that way. But what's interesting is the fertilizer they sell on the website has micronutrients, though it doesn't say what those are, and is making a specific mention of iron, which is unusual unto itself. Not sure what that's about, but this plant apparently can't get as much of what it needs from the soil. You win some, you lose some, I guess. Now, on top of that, we have to talk about its bioluminescence ability. Now, this comes from a specific fungal source, a specific fungi, Neonothopanus, nambi, which is related to the Agarics and deadly Amanitas. It's not exactly in the same family, but it's in the same family grouping, and it's one of the three branches. Okay? You can't eat that fungus anyway. And so that means Petunia, with its marginal at best edibility, plus that means that this plant is completely inedible. It's just a pretty face in your garden, especially at night. Now, how does that glow work exactly? Well, it turns out that most plants produce something called caffeic acid. Now, before you jump to conclusions, that has nothing to do with the compound caffeine. They're chemically different. They just share a very similar name. And caffeic acid is used as, the molecules are used as an initiator, which turns, by a biological process, into a compound called luciferin. And that produces the glow. Now, luciferin sounds very ominous, and I'm going to warn you religious folks out there. It has nothing to do with your book. Calm down. Luciferin is named for the Latin word Lucifer, which means bearer of light. It doesn't mean what you think it means. And it is a common compound found in anything in nature that bioluminesces. So, does the bioluminescent thing. So that includes fireflies, glowworms, snails, bacterium, so forth, so on. There's a wide range of things that glow. And it's just named that because it is, in fact, a compound, a molecule that is a bearer of light. Makes perfect sense. Now, the interesting thing about this plant is that it is kind of particular. It does actually need full sun. It does actually need that fertilizer mix. I improvised a mix of my own because, unlike most gardeners, I have access to more agriculture stuff than most. And I combined tobacco fertilizer with a few things to make a close granular substitute. What they sell, I think it treats about a gallon of water and you get 5 packs for $16 or something like that. No, I've got the means. And you could have the means too. I'm pretty sure a basic tomato fertilizer would be sufficient. Just make sure you add potassium and iron to it. Or, a balanced fertilizer with that, or, so you get the idea. So, this is Firefly Petunia, and it is an interesting and slightly controversial plant because, again, it is truly GMO. This plant cannot exist in nature. It was made in a lab. It's being sold to the public for at least the last 2 years. I finally got one, as you can see. And it's worth talking about. Now, in the description of this video, I'm going to have more details for you, so please read it. There will be links to the website, that the company that sells it, BioLite. There will be links to other information about how they discovered this process, this glow process, how they got it into plants and so forth. They did trial with actual tobacco, by the way. And additionally, there's more information down there. So, with all that covered, hit up the blog. It's still updating. Got crazy plants from the Fort Liberty excursion. If you like this video, if you like this content, please hit like or subscribe. And as always, folks, keep them growing. Please leave a comment if you got any thoughts, and thanks for watching.